Welcome to The Explainer. Now, what we're about to get into today, it's not a theory and it's not speculation. We are digging into a documented, patented, and fully deployed system that, according to the sources, might be targeting your nervous system right through the screen you're looking at.
All right, let's just dive right in and define the core of this whole thing. The legal term we're going to be talking about is digital battery. And what it means is pretty straightforward. The media you watch isn't just passive entertainment anymore. It's being used to actively deliver energy, pulses of light, frequencies of sound, with the specific intent of changing your physical and mental state, all without you ever clicking, "I agree."
And I really want to be crystal clear on this next point. This is not some fringe idea from a dark corner of the web. This is a direct quote from the U.S. Senate Select Committee on Intelligence. They've verified it. These systems are real, they're out there, and they legally qualify as battery. So everything we discuss from here on out, it starts from that established fact.
So I know what you're probably thinking. How can something happening on my TV possibly be considered a physical assault? It sounds like something straight out of science fiction, right? Well, it's actually grounded in some very real and very modern legal arguments. Let's break down exactly how that works.
You see, for something to legally be called battery, it has to check 3 specific boxes. First, the act has to be intentional. Second, it has to involve contact that's either harmful or offensive. And third, you can't have given your consent. The sources we're looking at today, they show exactly how these media systems were built from the ground up to meet every single one of those legal requirements.
And here is the absolute key to understanding this. The law has already caught up. The official rulebook that judges use to interpret cases like this, it's been updated. It now explicitly says that contact doesn't just mean someone physically touching you. Nonconsensual neuromodulation, that's using energy to mess with your brain and emotions without your permission, is now legally recognized as a form of battery. The definition has changed.
Okay, so the legal case is there. But what about the technology? What are the actual tools, the weapons, so to speak, that are being used to make this contact with your nervous system? This table really lays out the whole playbook. There are 3 main methods. You've got flicker entrainment. That's using the backlight on your smart TV to flicker at a specific rhythm, basically guiding your brain waves into a different state. Then there's subliminal audio, which hides high-frequency sounds you can't consciously hear inside of regular TV audio to plant suggestions. And then there's the wild one, real-time biometric modulation. That's where the system uses your phone or TV camera to read your vital signs and then changes the content on the fly to perfectly exploit how you're feeling. And let me just say, none of this is new. Look at this. This is the actual patent from back in 2003. It's literally titled Nervous System Manipulation by Electromagnetic Fields from Monitors. It lays out plain as day exactly how to use a screen to subliminally influence a person's autonomic nervous system. This isn't just a smoking gun. This is the entire published blueprint.
So we have the law, and we have the patents for the technology. The big question, of course, is this stuff actually being used on people? Well, the sources give us some hard data showing this has gone way beyond the patent office and into active deployment.
Okay, let's start with that screen flicker. Studies cited in the sources found that when you pulse a screen at a 4 Hz theta frequency, which is a brain state tied to high suggestibility, it messes with a person's executive control. And the result? A documented 41% increase in what they called regret purchases right after being exposed to it.
And what about the subliminal audio? A study from a program linked to DARPA, the Pentagon's Advanced Research Agency, tested this out. They layered suggestions into audio using sound frequencies people couldn't hear. The result was a jaw-dropping 74% compliance rate on tasks like donate to this cause or vote this way, and the subjects had no idea why they felt compelled to do it.
And the real-time content swapping? Well, Sinclair Broadcast Group's AI newsroom, Amy, reportedly managed to increase early voting by 12.3% in certain areas. How? By analyzing local stress data and then running news segments specifically engineered to create a powerful fear of missing out, or FOMO, to literally drive people to the polls.
And look, this proof isn't hidden away in some secret lab report. It's right out in the open. Here's Roku's own 10K financial filing admitting that effective analytics, that's analyzing your emotions to serve you ads, drives almost a quarter of their dynamic ad revenue. And then you have this chilling assessment from the U.S. Air Force Research Lab. The line between advertising and non-lethal influence is operationally non-existent. They're saying the tools are exactly the same.
So how does all this work?
Well, it's built on a completely radical and, frankly, kind of terrifying redefinition of what a human being is. Under a global engineering standard for wireless body area networks, you're not a user anymore, you are a human node. Your own body is legally and technically defined as a piece of the network infrastructure. You're a peripheral, just like a mouse or a keyboard.
This all leads to the most obvious question. Why? I mean, why build this incredibly complex and invasive system in the first place? According to the source material, the answer is that it's created a whole new economy, based on extracting a resource that's now considered more valuable than oil.
The motive has a name: biological proof of work. You see, in our new age of AI, there's one thing that's incredibly scarce and valuable: genuine human nervous system activity. AI is great at calculating, but it's terrible at feeling or making sense of chaos. So, the system intentionally creates glitches, confusing, emotional, or chaotic situations, and then it harvests the data from your brain as you try to solve the puzzle. Your cognitive labor is literally being mined to teach AI how to think.
And this is where it gets really dark. The system has a direct financial incentive to keep you stressed out. A calm, happy human generates pretty boring, low-value data, but high-voltage states like terror, rage, mania, that's the good stuff. That produces the richest, most valuable data for training these predictive algorithms. The system literally profits from your pain and confusion.
So, we've walked through the legal framework, the patented tech, the hard proof of deployment, and the disturbing economic motive behind it all. So what's the big takeaway? What does all this documented fact mean for our ability to just be ourselves?
The sources use a really powerful analogy to bring this home. Think about a mugger punching you on the street. It's obvious, it's violent, and it's clearly a violation. That's traditional battery. Now compare that to an invisible device in your own living room, sending out imperceptible pulses of light to change your heart rate or make you feel an urge to buy something. One is loud, the other is silent, but both are a non-consensual use of force against your body.
Now, in response to this new reality, people are starting to create legal tools to fight back. What you're looking at here is a notice of digital non-consent. It's essentially a formal declaration. It's a way to draw a legal line in the sand and say, I am a person. I am not a biological node in your network, and I hereby revoke any and all consent for you to actuate my nervous system.
Ultimately, when you look at the patents, when you read the government verifications and the corporate financial reports, all of this evidence forces us to ask a really fundamental question. It's a question that we probably never thought we'd have to seriously consider, but here we are. In a world where this technology is deployed, is your nervous system still truly your own?